As we step into a new year in 2024, it is a great time to start really taking charge of your finances, achieving those goals that you have, writing them down, and putting them into action. In today's video, we are going over 17 money saving tips that will save you money in 2024. Tip number 1 is to cut back on those monthly subscriptions. The average American spends $219 per month on subscriptions, which is a lot of money. Here are a few things you guys can try to start saving on those monthly subscriptions. The first one is subscription hopping. So instead of just being subscribed to a whole bunch of streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, all the things, consider hopping. So it's a great way to save some money. You can still watch a lot of the shows that you want to watch, but you're going to be saving some money in the long term since you're not subscribing to all of those all at once. The second thing is to look into some of those friends and family plans. The third is to consider downgrading those subscriptions and maybe watch a few ads. It's gonna save you a couple dollars every month, but all those dollars add up over the year. For me, I actually suspended my Spotify Premium for a period of time to see if it was actually something I wanted to spend my money on, because it was $10 a month and I was the only one that was enjoying it, before I realized that I think ad-free music and being able to listen to music on the airplane and airplane mode was something that was really important to me. But being able to take that several month period away from paying for that subscription made me realize how much I appreciate it and how much that my money is being spent on something that's actually really important to me. Tip number 2 is to grocery shop prep. A little prep can go a long, long way, especially in these days when I know inflation is eating away at a lot of our grocery budgets. However, I know that weekly grocery shopping is something that is incredibly personal. So take the time to figure out what works for you. It is a form of self-care to be able to fuel your body properly, not just be waiting till the last minute to figure out what you're going to eat. And you really do owe it to yourself to fuel yourself properly. For some, that may mean investing in meal delivery kits. For others, that may mean investing in a meal prep service, so food that's already prepped for you and delivered to your home. That may just be taking a little bit more out of your grocery budget, but if cooking's not something that you're super passionate about and you like the convenience of somebody delivering food to your door, then that may be a lot cheaper route to go instead of just getting food delivery or going out to eat every day. And honestly, even if you are home and you don't have any food, like, it takes so much time to go out to eat and get food, then come back. So it's actually a lot more time efficient to just have food prepared in your home for you to eat, as opposed to just wasting your time going out to eat every night. That wastes precious minutes after work that you guys have to unwind during the week. I'm gonna switch my camera battery. All right, tip number 3 is incredibly important, and that is to protect your personal information on the dark web. According to the FTC, online fraud cost Americans $8.8 billion in 2022. That is a median loss of about $650. As the internet becomes more and more prevalent, not protecting your private information is coming at a huge, huge cost. And that is why I'm really grateful for the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura can identify data breakers that are exposing your personal information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. These data brokers make a fortune off of selling your personal information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like where you live. Legally, these brokers are required to remove you from these lists if you ask them to, but honestly, they make it super, super difficult to do, which is why I love Aura, because they do all of the work for you. Immediately when I started using Aura, they started removing my information from dozens of places, many of which I had never heard of before. And if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that data protection is incredibly important to me. I've had family members who've had their identities stolen, and it's taken a lot of time and effort to be able to recover from that. Not only just financially recover from that, but actually just emotionally. Like, it takes a toll out of you when you know somebody's stealing your personal information. And on top of that, stolen personal information can be incredibly detrimental to your savings goals. Aura is super easy to set up. You don't have to download a bunch of different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. And what's also awesome is Aura is offering my viewers a 2-week completely free trial. All you have to do is go to aura.com/AdrianInvest to sign up. It'll also be linked down in the description bar below. Sign up below and stop letting other people exploit your personal information on the dark web. Number 4 is to look for free or cheap entertainment. If you are a student or if you are military, oftentimes a lot of places will give you discounts discounts for being a student to go to different places, to attend certain events. Your town may offer concerts or events that are free, so be sure to check those out before you purchase any expensive concert tickets. And honestly, with those obscene transaction fees, I try to stay away. Noah and I are often looking for cheap, fun things to do, especially now being in a new city. We are certainly on a budget, just like everybody should be. But actually, since he's a veteran, we have found that we do get a lot of discounts, but it is important to us to make memories and to do things outside of our home to make memories, but it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg to make those memories. So be on the lookout, be creative with whatever is around you. Tip number 5 is to minimize your restaurant spending. I know for us, it's super easy for us to go over our restaurant budget every month, since eating out is going to be a lot more expensive than eating at home. Obviously enjoy eating out, so every once in a while it's a splurge for us. And when we do so, we really try to stretch our budget. There are a few things that we do. We love looking for discount gift cards. We often buy them at Costco. Sometimes if we really want to go out, we skip on drinks to save a little bit of money, and then we also tend to stick with the fast casual restaurants. We love Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. Typically, we will skip going to restaurants where we have to pay for a tip. And I know that tipping culture is a huge, huge deal. I pretty much always stick with the rule, if I'm not being served, then I typically don't leave a tip. However, if I'm feeling super generous that day, or for whatever reason I give extra, I do. But I hate the whole like guilt tipping culture that we have right now.
Just take my money.
So a general rule I live by is to just tip when I'm physically being served. All right, tip number 6 is to save on the big 3. So tip number 6 is going to be the first of these 3, and that is housing. As long as I've been making videos, I've always talked about the real way to save money is to save on your 3 largest expenses. The first being your housing. So obviously in your budget, you can cut anything really. Your housing gonna be one of your biggest expenses, is going to be one of the line items in your budget where you can cut the most and therefore save the most. So if your housing budget is $1,500, you have an opportunity to cut up to $1,500. That would kind of be impossible, but you get the gist. As opposed to if you have a grocery budget of $500, the most you can ever cut out from that is $500, but that means you're not eating for an entire month. Saving on your biggest 3 expenses is a great way to start really tackling those savings goals. I know a lot of people who watch my channel are in a mortgage right now.
I have a mortgage to pay, so you have to pay me, otherwise you have to go.
So they obviously can't change completely their rent cost or completely their housing costs, but I also know that a lot of my viewers are renters. If you are renting like me currently right now, we are renting. One thing we've actually considered is when we do have to re-sign our lease, or when our lease does end, is to look for cheaper alternatives, or to look for places that aren't necessarily, even though they're in the budget, not necessarily spending the max in our budget for our housing. That means not necessarily upgrading to a bigger place when you have a raise. I will say we moved from the Washington, D.C. area to LA, and things are honestly very expensive in both places, but we did downgrade from a 2-bedroom townhome to a 1-bedroom apartment. And I will say our amenities in our apartment are very, very nice, but getting a place that is nicer would be almost $1,000 more expensive for us. So for in this time, in this phase in our life right now, it wasn't something that we wanted to spend a ton of money on. We wanted to save in that area. However, I'm not gonna say that that's forever. I could certainly see us wanting more space. Actually, we want more space right now. I could certainly see us moving into a bigger space, but for right now, in this year, in this lease, I'm glad we are saving a little bit of money to get ahead in some of our other financial goals. Another thing is to get really creative with your space. One thing that we've done being in a 1-bedroom is to use rooms for more than one thing. So for example, the only bedroom that we have is both our bedroom and it's also my office. Our living room is also, I hid it pretty well in this video, but my husband's desk area is back there. We downsized a lot when we moved here. We went from 3 closets and an attic to 1 closet and no attic. So we've gotten very creative with our storage space. We utilize all of the room under our bed. We got rid of a ton of stuff. Noah actually keeps all of his stuff out here, while there is a ton of other stuff in the closet. So if you own your home, consider looking into lowering your other housing expenses, one of them being your insurance. See if you can find a lower rate with your insurance, go insurance shopping. Consider putting more money towards your mortgage so that you can pay off your mortgage early. And this probably sounds counterintuitive, but actually keep up on the maintenance of your home, because in the long run, it's going to help you save money if you are maintaining your home properly. The next tip is the second of the largest expenses, and that is transportation. Things you can do to lower your transportation costs is, one, consider taking public transportation to and from work a couple times a week, maybe even once a week, or carpooling with some other people that you live close to that are driving into the office. Consider walking to go do your errands, like walking to the grocery store. Just remember that if you're going to the grocery store and you're walking, you're gonna be carrying all your groceries back with you. But that's one way that I've gotten some extra exercise. We live close enough to grocery stores where I can walk. And something we did when we moved to LA was actually we dropped down to one car. We dropped down to one car mostly because we were able to do it in terms of us transporting to the things that we need. One car, our apartment only allows us to have one parking spot. We have to pay extra for another parking spot. We'd have to pay for car insurance for another car. We'd have to pay for another car. There are a lot of other expenses besides the actual car to consider when you think about those transportation costs. So we have not found that it is inconvenient for us right now to just have one car, but for now it is saving us a little bit of extra money. Also, if you are looking to purchase a car, keep in mind, don't buy a car that is more than half of your annual income. And know that even if you are a really high earner, that doesn't mean you have to spend all of half of your income on a car. If you make $100,000, so you could afford $50,000 in a car, you don't necessarily have to buy a $50,000 car. Cars that are a few years old are incredibly reliable and don't come with the heavy depreciation value that brand new cars do. The next tip is the third largest expense that you will make, and that is your education. If you're looking to go into school anytime soon, consider looking for schools that aren't necessarily the most prestigious, but ones that are going to be the most cost effective in the long term. That may mean going to a school that is close to home so that you can stay at home while you're in school. That may mean having a job during the school year and during the summer so that you can make some money to be able to pay towards your tuition. Or that may mean going to an in-state school or finding a school that you have access to scholarships. But if you've already graduated, you've already finished school, and you're facing a lot of those student loans right now, number one, make sure you are not on an income-driven repayment plan. A lot of times with those payment plans, you are paying less than what the interest is for whatever your loan is, so you're not actually paying towards the principal of your loan, which means your loan could actually be going up even if you are making those monthly payments. The best thing you can do is aggressively pay towards those loans, paying off those loans in completion so that this can free up your income to be used towards other things like your other savings goals. Tip number 9 is to consider deleting your social media for at least a period of time. In 2022, $66 billion was spent on advertising on social media, and there's a definite reason for that. It really, really works. I officially deleted my Instagram at some point in 2022. I don't really remember the exact time. And honestly, I have not looked back. It has allowed me to be fully present in my life, in the moment, and I'm incredibly mindful of how I am spending my money, because I'm not spending my money in order to post a picture on Instagram or to post anywhere to impress whoever. I think this is one of the main reasons why I'm so passionate about not having Instagram. And honestly, not really having Facebook. I do have a Facebook, but I only keep my family and a couple very close friends as friends. I actually deleted everybody else, and that took a very long time to delete everybody. That's because the longer I've been away from social media, the more aware of myself I am. And why I choose to do what I do. And honestly, taking a step away from my Instagram, even from my YouTube channel, was a really big decision to make, because I knew that I was obviously blocking off connection I could get with people who view my videos. However, I found that it was just the best thing for my mental health to not know everything that everybody I once knew in my life. Like, it's not necessary for me to know what somebody I went to college with that I had one conversation with, what they're doing 7 years later. It's just not necessary for me to know. So overall, I do believe that not having social media saves me money, because the advertisers that are spending to advertise on social media, it doesn't work for me because I'm not on social media. All right, number 10 is to make mindful purchases. So this is along the same lines as not having social media. My core issue with any purchase that I make is why. Why am I making the purchase? Is it so that I can post about it on social media? Is it so I can impress other people? If you really do ask yourself the question why you want something, is it because you really want it? Then it's probably a good purchase to make. But this is a great time to really evaluate yourself and be mindful about the purchases that you're making in 2024. Number 11 is to unsubscribe from all of those emails that you get in your inbox that you just end up deleting, and you just need to go through into the email and unsubscribe so you're not getting a million advertisements from whoever you gave your email to at whatever point you ordered something off of Aerie, and all of a sudden you're getting 3 emails a day. But these sneaky marketing emails are not going to get the best of you in 2024. You're going to go in and take the time to unsubscribe from all of them. When you see one, click on it, find the unsubscribe, and then never again will you see those emails. Number 12 is to add to cart and save for later. At least 25% of Americans shop online at least once a month and spend on average annually $5,381. While I know that a lot of these purchases are absolutely necessary, we just ordered hand soap, so like it can be really easy to impulse buy if you are just able to add things to your cart and check out super seamlessly on your phone. By taking the time to add to cart, saving for later, and processing through, do you actually want the item? You can think about it, and if you don't actually want it, you can delete the item and move on with your life. Number 13 is to cut the alcohol. Americans spend on average $583 a year on alcohol, which is nearly $50 a month. This can include drinking when you're going out with friends or buying alcohol to drink at home. And actually, studies have shown that taking short breaks from alcohol can actually improve sleep, and some participants were shown to actually lose weight when they stopped drinking for a period of time. So give it a try. Try cutting alcohol for a certain period of time. Maybe consider doing a dry January, or restricting alcohol in the house, so only drinking when you are at certain places can actually save you money and be healthier for you in the long term. Number 14 is to get that 401k match from your employer. The beginning of the year is a great year to look at those benefits, check on your 401k or 403b or whatever retirement plan that your employer provides. And if your employer offers a match, make sure that you are taking advantage of it. That is free money that your employer is offering, and it's an additional benefit that you get for working there. Also, make sure you read the fine print. All employer matches are a little bit different. All of this money goes to your employee retirement account. And remember that even if you're saving towards a Roth, your match is going to be pre-tax. All right, number 15 is to create those sinking funds for your savings goals. Consider using sinking funds for occasions that are going to be happening in the future that you know are coming. Things like Christmas, things like car expenses, or any summer travel that you have, or Christmas travel, things you can start saving all the way up in January. You can set aside money each month to be able to put towards those sinking funds so that when those occasions do come around, you already have the money saved and you don't have to sweat about where that money is coming from in order to pay for those expenses. I have an entire video on 7 essential sinking funds that you can look into to start saving towards those goals. Number 16 is to go on a no spend weekend, week, or month. A no spend period of time is where you literally do just that. You do not spend on anything that is not necessary for whatever period of time you set aside. If you have specific savings goals, doing a no spend can help you really focus that energy on those savings goals. You can definitely use your creativity to find some cool ways to make memories even if you aren't spending any money. Or another thing you can do is do a no spend for a certain category for that month. Like that could be a no eating out for a week, going a week only eating food that you already have in your home, or it could be an entire year without buying any new clothes. That was actually something we kind of did unintentionally in December. We were saving towards a lot of things for later in December, like holiday expenses, gifts, or travel. So we were honestly not spending anything earlier in the month in December. Number 17 is to join a Buy Nothing group or other free groups on Facebook. Buy Nothing groups are one of my favorite ways to save money. If you find one in your neighborhood, oftentimes it's people giving things away that they don't want anymore, that they don't need anymore. And you can also give away things. All you have to do is make arrangements to pick those items up. You can get some free items. It's a great way to find things for your home that you need, to give away things to other people who also might need those things. And it's also a great way to build community within your neighborhood. I've seen people give away fresh food, clothing items new with tags, or furniture. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to sign up for that 2-week free trial so that you can let them do the hard work and keeping you safe in your private information off of the dark web so that you can focus on what you need to do with peace of mind. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe down below. And I hope you have a happy 2024. See you guys in the next video.